Hokage, Invincible Opening, Fury Konoha. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 41. Destroy Kudwa, Super Harvest. I surrender. There was a sound of swipe DD. With scars all over his body, he didn't chop again, and stuck the big knife in his hand on the ground. One arm was drooping, the other held high. Half kneeling on the ground, he took the initiative to admit defeat. Seeing this, the four of Ryeo were also slightly taken aback. And stopped attacking, then carefully unloaded all the weapons on Zaibuzan's body, and tied his hands. After making sure there is no threat. Then, he waved to Natsume in the distance. Natsume put the unconscious Shiro on the ground. And conveniently added a word-binding technique? Fuck to the other party to prevent the other party from suddenly waking up and running around. Then, this came to the side of Zabujan. TSK, I thought you would fight to the death. No matter how bad it is, I will take the opportunity to escape. Then I will make a comeback. I didn't expect to admit defeat so simply. Why? Natsume asked with a slight smile. No longer bowed his head, just glanced at the unconscious ground in the distance, and didn't say much. Although he just struggled countless times in his heart. However, in the end, he chose to surrender. Meanwhile, Silver on the side. Also rushed to join come up and kiss ass. Of course I'm afraid of your strength, young patriarch. As soon as you got out, you scared him out of his wits right away. Natsume rolled her eyes, and cursed angrily. Come on. Stop bragging. The four of you have been fighting for so long, but you haven't completely defeated each other. Fortunately, I'm still guiding. Shame. Hearing this, Sun Yao and the others bowed their heads slightly, feeling quite ashamed. What should we do with these two guys? Did you kill them? Yuji asked coldly, mercilessly. Hearing this, Zabuza immediately opened his mouth and said. I know, you are not Konoha's ninjas. Are you the survivors of Uchiha's defection? In this case, I am willing to pay for my life. Please, let me go. Gritting his teeth and begging for mercy. It is not easy for a tough guy like him to beg for mercy. If not for the long-cherished wish in my heart, for by. I'm afraid this guy wouldn't frown if he was chopped down with a knife. Bah. How much money do you have? If you were rich, why would you take on such life-threatening missions endlessly? I still want to buy your life, how shameless. Natsume snorted. After seeing the treasury of the two hidden villages, his eyes were obviously taken aback. If he doesn't cut off this little family property, he will naturally look down on it. At this moment, being ridiculed by such a brat. If he didn't cut him off again, his face would turn red and he would feel humiliated. I had to say loudly, 10 million taels, is it enough? Natsume's eyes lit up, and he immediately said. Come on, untie. I am a good boy, is this really so rich? As a trader, he has already saved tens of millions of money? This guy, in his last life, he was changed by Pishio. Young patriarch, do you really want to untie him? Kidding. Tie him up first, I can still use this guy. By the way, bring that little doll over there too. Next. Ryeo, you stay here and guard the two of them. If there is any change between the two of them, kill them directly. I and others will go to Kaleidoscope Company headquarters first, and I will come to you later. Natsume quickly arranged. The 10 million taels that will not be cut off is tempting. But compared with the entire Kaleidoscope Company, it can only be regarded as a drop in the bucket. Therefore, he can still tell which is more important. If you go late later and let Cardo escape, you will be in trouble again. Obey. With a cry of command, Ryeo brought by from a distance over. Tie the two together again. And watch over it responsibly. The four of Natsume immediately rushed along the road towards the lair of Kaleidoscope Company. The rest of the trip was uneventful. Natsume and his party of four easily found the lair of Kaleidoscope Company. Killed it easily. This large group was easily destroyed. And ended the sinful life of Cardo, the big bully. It is worth mentioning that when Natsume and the others went all the way in, they found the president, Kato. This guy is still in his office, he is very happy to do something with the secretary. It seems that they have completely forgotten the threat of Natsume and his party. I don't know if I have confidence in the 20 or so chicken killers, or in the famous mist-hidden ghost man. In short, although it is full of evil. But it is a blessing to be able to die on the peak of bliss without noticing. Of course, according to the boundless sins this guy committed, he must go to hell after death. That's it. After destroying the high-level group headed by Cardo, as well as a large number of inhumane and criminal warrior killers, Natsume and the others did not attack other company employees. After all, after this shipping company is incorporated in the future, in a short period of time, the operation and maintenance of this staff is still needed. Moreover, most of these low-level employees are also the targets of being squeezed by Kadwa. Every day I work hard at 996. Not even time to do bad things. It is also quite pitiful. Of course, Natsume's trip has traveled thousands of miles, not to punish the evil and promote the good, and to liberate these oppressed employees and the people of National Wave. Make money. Make a lot of money. That's the real goal. Therefore, Uncle Long, who has rich management experience, came forward. After quickly calming down the hundreds of employees of the frightened company, Natsume and the others, under the leadership of the company executive, came to the underground bank where the entire Kato group stored funds. The treasury is huge, and the door is specially locked. It seems that only Cardo and a few people know the opening code. It's a pity that this kind of defense is equivalent to tasteless in front of a powerful ninja. Natsume swung his sword. The strong alloy lock was cut in half by Kuan Dao in an instant. Next moment, the vault door opened. A large piece of bright light burst out suddenly, making Natsume and the others blink. And wherever the eye can see, cart after cart, pile after pile, countless gold, silver and jewelry are being placed in the silver vault. It is conservatively estimated that there are more than 100 million taels of cash alone. If you count those precious jewels and diamonds, the total would be several 100 million taels at least. Cent. This time it was real. What a great harvest. Looking at the entire bank, looking at the countless silver taels in front of him, Natsume was also happy, ecstatic. The little heart couldn't help twitching violently. What? It's the feeling of myocardial infarction. Episode 42. Getting rich and entrusting. A volume shaft 5 million. 2 scrolls, 10 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go up the mountain and fuck the tiger. Pooh. Misreading. Natsume was muttering to himself, while happily pretending to pick up silver taels all over the floor. Uncle Long and the others who watched from afar were amazed. For the first time, seeing his young patriarch so excited. I almost thought that the young patriarch was being silly. Wow. Is the young patriarch also so greedy for money? Ian, who was on the side, stuffed gold coins into his pocket and joked cheerfully. Bah. This is not greed for money. This is from the heart. Follow your heart, do you understand? You guys, if you are not in charge of the family, you don't know how expensive daily necessities are. Xiaomu turned around and scolded with a smile. The speed of putting money in his hand did not slow down at all. Not for a while. He put all the cash in the bank into his pocket. A full 25 space scrolls are installed. At the same time, taking this opportunity, Natsume also touched the cash aside, absorbed the breath of money, and exchanged all of it into gold coins. Ding, congratulations, you have won. Point value point. Excuse me, do you want to recharge? Value points, converted to gold? Recharge successful. Congratulations, you have won. Gold. Current balance. Gold. Watching the sudden surge, it directly broke through the 5-figure gold coin balance. Natsume was even more excited, as if he was in the sea of clouds. This is really getting rich. Moreover, own system also has an advantage. Even after converting these cash into corresponding value points, the money will not be eaten. These cash can still be brought back to Ninja Village and used normally. It can be said to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Of course, there are pros and cons. The system is generous in redemption, but high in audit requirements. Natsume had tried it before, taking a share of the money in an attempt to increase the value points repeatedly. The Niha system doesn't accept this at all. Only by admitting, Natsume got it for the first time and can fully control the cash, can be converted into value points, and then recharged into gold coins. In addition, those valuable jewels, luxury goods, weapons and props. Neither can be exchanged for value points. Otherwise, the night she defected, Konoha stole more than just the treasury. Therefore, in this treasury, in addition to more than 100 million cash that can be directly exchanged into value points, the rest are worth hundreds of millions of other various jewelry, luxury goods and so on. But you can't use it directly for yourself. However, the problem is not too big. Turn back and rely on this guy, shipping company, to slowly sell these jewels and exchange them all for cash. Although the process may be longer, it is stable and reliable. In short, today's harvest is indeed rich enough to make people ecstatic. Unexpectedly, this mere Kado company is actually richer than the treasury of Yenin village, one of the 5 great hidden villages. What an eye-opener. But when you think about it, it's normal. Although the fighting power of these 5 hidden villages is high. But at best, a village has tens of thousands of people, which is not as good as a small town. There are tens of thousands of employees in such a large multinational company. It is no problem at all to be comparable to a small town in terms of economic size. Of course, if it is not to maintain such a large company, it needs to invest a large amount of capital flow. It is estimated that the cash stored here will have to be multiplied several times. But, now. It's all yours. There are so many cards, everyone is dead. I also gave myself such a large shipping company and so many treasures. Made myself feel bad. Forget it, be generous to yourself. Don't flog him in the future. Putting away the scrolls, the 3 of Natsume, who returned with a full load, left the company headquarters building. And handed over the entire company to Uncle Long for maintenance. In the future, a few more capable clansmen will be sent to assist Uncle Long. And with Uncle Long's ability, in half a month at most, the stubborn ringworm should be eliminated and the entire company should be reorganized. Within a month, the sea route will be reoperated, and it will truly bring sustainable profitable income to our village. Sure enough, it is most comfortable to lie at home and count the money. After leaving Kado Company, Natsume, Tsukihime, and Jin returned to Rieo's side again. But Zai Bujan and Bai were still obediently tied in place and did not struggle to escape. I don't know if I have no strength, or I have accepted my fate. No longer looked up, watching the glorious Natsume and the others return. There was an instant calculation in my heart. That guy Kado, is he dead? Of course, keeping such a bully will only cause endless harm. I have already saved him. Natsume nodded without denying it. It's ridiculous. No more sighs. Such a wealthy businessman, a big bully. Unexpectedly, in the end, he lost his life because he was stingy with the commission fee and failed to invite enough helpers. Let yourself. Just because of the mere commission of 3 million taels, he came to attack such a ruthless brat rashly. This brat, I'm afraid the absolute value exceeds the S-rank reward, right? I can be regarded as being wronged. All right. Sunday, you guys go to the back first and wait. I'll have a chat with Mr. Mist Hidden Ghost alone. Young patriarch, this guy is very dangerous. Rieo hesitated, a little worried. After all, Natsume's body entrusts and carries the hope of revival of the whole family. If something happened, the consequences would be unimaginable. How? Could it be that you guys thought this guy would be my opponent? Can it pose a threat to me? I let him have both hands and feet, and he can't beat me. Natsume gave them a blank look and said helplessly. And these contemptuous remarks made a certain ghost man's complexion turn dark. I almost couldn't hold back and jumped up and beat people. It's a pity that, in his intuition, he really felt that he was not the opponent of this brat. Several people on Sunday looked at each other. Nor was it forced. They also know the strength of the young patriarch, let alone a wretched ghost with his hands tied. Even 10 full-blown ghosts are by no means a match for the young patriarch. Soon, several people retreated to the distance. Only Natsume and Zabuzen were left alone. What exactly do you want to do? Gritting his teeth again, he asked. In his opinion, Natsume, who has already destroyed Cardo Corporation and made a fortune. There is a high probability that he has looked down on his little savings. It is estimated that the only way to meet him is a dead end. It's a pity that he failed to fulfill his long-cherished wish. It hurt. By how much money have you saved in total? Xiaomu's words made Bujan stunned. 13.8 million taels. TSK TSK TSK. As a trader, you can really save money. It's no wonder that your clothes are so worn out, and you're still wearing them. Natsume clicked his tongue slightly. In his opinion, those who can save money are ruthless people. Although not as good as a certain little money-saving expert Mr. Kakutsu, but this Mr. Zai Bujan is also very powerful. I'll give you all the money. You can kill too. If you can, let him go. He's still young. Zabuchu lowered his head, clenched his fists, and begged in a deep voice. This is also his last wish. However, Natsume did not execute the opponent. Instead, he flicked his fingers and shot out a chakra, which cut through the rope that was tied up and released him. And asked with a smile. What are you pretending to be a tough guy? It's embarrassing to hear. Let me ask you, you have lived frugally and saved so much money all these years. It's just to gather people and prepare for the next coup, so that we can counterattack Kirigakure, right? Zai Bujan was startled, and stared blankly at the liberated hands. It's really hard to estimate the intention of this brat. You. Attacking Wuyin village, in the 5 great hidden villages, this task is at least S level or above, right? Would the ninjas from the other great ninja villages dare to take on such a task? Also, how many ninjas do you think you can afford to hire with 13 million taels? 5 jounin? Or 10? With this power alone, how can a coup d'etat be? How can we defeat Kirigakure? It's not enough to save money for a lifetime like you. Natsume's ridicule Ling Zaibuzan was even more furious, his eyes were red and bloodshot. The brat can defile him. But we must not tarnish his long-cherished wish, tarnish his ambition. Even if you don't kill yourself, you will know. By myself alone, I will not be able to clean up my own village in this lifetime. Bastard, you are courting death. Natsume smiled and waved, and continued to seduce. Don't be angry yet. I don't take your salary for nothing. How about this? Give me 13 million taels, and I'll kill you through water country. Destroy Mist Hidden Village. How? Hearing this, the anger that didn't cut his heart dissipated immediately, and he was shocked suddenly. Can't help but said in a daze. You want to help me kill Mist Hidden Village? That's right. What? I don't look strong enough? Or, would you like to try it yourself? Natsume showed his white teeth and smiled like an abyss demon. Episode 43. Killing officially begins. After a few hours. On a broad cargo ship. With his right hand wrapped in bandages, he was holding a knife in his left hand, sitting on the deck with a stern face. Beside him, there is a white man who is not tall. He was holding the gauze, resting on his toes, very gently cleaning up the wound on Zai Bucho's shoulder. The few single dogs in the distance are very resentful. If you don't kill your lord again, do you really believe them? Bai glanced at Natsume and the others in the distance, and asked secretly worriedly. Especially the boy who is similar to him, he is too strong. Until now, Bai hadn't been able to recover from the shock of the instant defeat. Bai, have you been with me for a few years? 6 years, 7 months, and 23 days. Bai answered accurately. Then what do you think? With myself alone, can I really kill Wuyin village one day? Here. It's hard. Or, it's almost impossible. Biting his red lips, Shiro answered truthfully. No more sighs. That's right. It's been very difficult for us to survive just being chased by the umbu of the village. There is no possibility of overthrowing the rule of the 4th generation. That brat is right. I can't afford to hire enough ninjas even if I save all my life's money. So, what does it matter if you believe it or not? All I need is an opportunity. He can give me such a chance. It is enough for me to abandon all cowardice and fight to the death. What did he ask for? It doesn't matter. Will I die? It doesn't matter. I was a sinner who should have died a long time ago. Zabujan Yuyu responded, with traces of flames that were almost burnt out in his eyes. That was his last hope for the existence of the village. No, you won't die if you don't kill my lord. You can't die. Death is the way back for a ninja. Bye, wait after shore. Just run away quietly. Those people shouldn't care about you. As long as you run faster, you should be able to escape with your life. Zabuza stared at the young man in front of him, and warned in a deep voice. It's like explaining the funeral. To be honest, in his opinion, this trip is almost dead. Although those Uchiha ninjas are strong, they will never be able to defeat the entire, mist-hidden village. I will not leave and kill you again. No matter where you are, I will be there too. Bai gently leaned on the broad shoulders of Zaibucho, and responded decisively. My own life was saved by my lord. He will never escape alone. Now. Looking at this crooked and disgusting scene in the distance on the deck, Natsume and the others couldn't help but grit their teeth secretly. I really should throw this fog-hidden ghost directly into the sea to feed the fish, so as not to scatter dog food here. Seeing this, Ian on the side also urged. Young patriarch, I think that little sister is very cute and beautiful. How about you? Bah. He's a boy. Put away your dirty thoughts. Oh. It's a boy. But, the young patriarch didn't say it yourself, as long as you are beautiful, you don't need to be so dead as Ka. Natsume jumped up angrily, and rewarded Ian with another dunk. Good guy. You don't remember so many maxims I said, but you remember this one, right? Hey, are you kidding me? However, young patriarch, tell the truth. Are we really going to fight the entire, mist-hidden village? Xiaomu frowned. Why, are you afraid? Silver, of course not. That's right, there are only a few of us, isn't it too shabby? Not just Ian, even Sun Yao and Yuji beside him. After hearing the news, I was still a little bit apprehensive. This feeling is similar to Xiao's current life. A special force suddenly threatened to destroy one of the 5 rogue countries. It's hard to be confident. Natsume, don't worry, I'm sure. It's also time for you to see my true strength. Leave the opponent's main force to me in a while, and you will be responsible for making up the knife. Natsume reassured with confidence. Myself at this moment. But he has Sharingan, which is comparable to an eternal Kaleidoscope, 3S level ninjutsu, an artifact, plus a 5-figure gold coin reserve. Just dealing with one mist-hidden village, I really can't think of the possibility of losing. And they are all dressed in demigod costumes. Wouldn't it be boring to hide at home in fear and go to the extreme? A real man should be straight. You should welcome the man straight up. Although, I am still just a boy now. Hearing this, several people on Ryeo looked at each other. He had no choice but to agree, and prepared to accompany his young patriarch to go crazy. It really can't beat it. With the 3 of them desperately procrastinating, it might be possible to buy some time for the young patriarch to escape. However, why did you choose Mist-Hidden Village? Sun Yat-sen asked puzzledly. Natsume, because Kirigakure is easy to bully. A few people on Sunday. Hidden Fog Village. Of course, being easy to bully is only a relative term. Among the 5 hidden villages. In addition to a basket of forbidden spells and a lot of Kulia Hidden Village hanging on the wall. The gap in overall strength between the other 4 hidden villages is not too outrageous. Only because the Mizukage of the 3rd generation and the Mizukage of the 4th generation were secretly controlled successively and pursued the blood fog policy. This makes the internal friction in Mist-Hidden Village extremely serious. In the cruel environment of fighting each other, only a few students of each ninja academy can survive to graduate. Over the years, the number of ninjas in the entire Mist-Hidden Village has naturally declined significantly, and the overall strength has been greatly weakened. Of course, except that Mist-Hidden Village is slightly weaker. There are many other reasons. For example, my Yenin village has just been built and urgently needs a big victory to increase its deterrence. There is nothing like the glorious record of overcoming one of the 5 hidden villages head-on. It is even more eye-catching and dreadful. Moreover, with this mist-hidden ghost man Taudi will lead the way again. This war can also be completely characterized as an internal coup in Mist-Hidden Village. I am just a helping hand requested by Kirigakure Ninja. Proper mentors are well known, and they will not create a warlike and tyrannical reputation for Yenin Village. Secondly, the treasury of Mist-Hidden Village is also very attractive. It's time to go to robbing the rich and giving to the poor. At last. If it really overturned Mist-Hidden Village and conquered Water Country, At that time, there will be no restrictions in the entire surrounding sea area. Our own maritime trade company can unimpededly develop maritime trade in more than 10 surrounding countries. Even expand the market to the populous water country, earning a fortune. That's it. Kill 4 birds with 1 stone, or win 5 birds with 1 stone. Do not care. In short, there are many benefits and it is worth fighting. This is the reason why Natsume really intends to do something about Quian Village. It is by no means short-sighted, just for the sake of not cutting off the 10 million taels of reward. Not to mention the watery, tender female ninja in Mist Hidden Village. In this way, the large cargo ship was full of horsepower on the sea. It was open for most of the day until dusk. Finally came to a port in Nation of Water. At the port, all ordinary workers were emptied, and only cargo ships were docked on the shore, floating silently. Here they come. Zai Bujan held the knife, stood up, and looked towards the distant port with a solemn expression. Obviously, with his keen intuition, he has already sensed countless murderous intentions lurking on the shore. Who? No more beheading people from the Umbu of Kirigakure. Silver, as expected of a ninja from Umbu, you came so fast. No more chopping, it's still too late for you to leave now. Their target should only be me. Natsume chuckled and rubbed his knuckles. Come on. You can't swing the knife anymore, so why pretend? Get out of the way quickly. Open your eyes wide and take a good look, what is real killing efficiency? Natsume stepped out in a few steps. Come to the spigot of the cargo ship and face the hordes of Kirigakure ninjas lurking in the harbor. Then, grab it with your right hand. A short knife solidified from rich chakra appeared in his hand instantly. Obviously, Kuan Dao is not needed to kill these little ninjas. Next moment, Natsume tapped her toes, and her figure disappeared instantly. The killing officially begins. Episode 44. Advance. Blast. The so-called art of speed. Now. Inside the port. A group of Kirigakure Anbi ninjas hiding in the moored ships are waiting in full force. Attention all teams, the target cargo ship is about to dock. According to the information, the rebellious ninja will be on that cargo ship. This time, we must never let him escape again. Looking at the large cargo ship gradually approaching in the distance, the leader of the Wuin Dark Army reminded the team members in a deep voice. It has been so many years since they accepted the order of the 4th Mizukage to capture that ghost and never kill him. Letting the opponent escape repeatedly is really embarrassing. But now, the other party sailed to the water country, swaggeringly, throwing himself into the trap. If you can't catch this rebellious lunatic today, members of Umbu like myself, why not abolish ninjutsu, go home and farm? Just like that, the Kirigana ninjas continued to hold their breath and sharpen their knives. Soon, the big cargo ship was less than 100 meters away from the shore. At this time, on the bow of the ship in the distance, a figure suddenly appeared. What's going on? What's going on? Why is there only one brat? That brat is also a ninja? If you don't cut it, you actually drove such a little ninja to die? The group of Wuin Umbu were slightly taken aback. They also dealt with Zabuzan a lot. Logically speaking, that guy is not such a shameless person. Captain, wait, I feel that something is wrong with that brat. Something's wrong? Everyone looked again. But suddenly found out. On the cargo ship, that young figure suddenly disappeared. Next moment, the pair instantly crossed a distance of tens of meters and appeared on the shore of the sea. And walked towards the shore step by step. Every time the opponent took a step, the violent chakra breath surged and vibrated, causing ripples on the surrounding sea surface, stirring up circle after circle of water splashes, like a drizzle of rain. In the hazy vision, countless water droplets divided everything around, as if one fell into a gray-white dream, everything became illusory. Too bad. Whether he is right or wrong, kill him. Today we must not let them escape again. The leader of the Dark Army let out a roar. Quickly commanded a group of team members to launch an attack. Obviously, all Kirigakure ninjas are aware of it. The figure of the young man who was gradually approaching them, filled with mist, was anything but simple. Ever since. In the next second, more than 20 ninjas probed one after another. Attack. Countless kunai, shuriken, water escape ninjutsu, etc. Hundreds and thousands of them rushed towards Natsume overwhelmingly. It's a pity that none of these attacks could hit the boy, and all of them passed through the figure as if through an illusion, and hit the distant sea water, splashing more waves. Seeing this, all the Kirigakure ninjas almost doubted life, and all of them almost popped their eyes out. The words "I don't believe it" are written all over everyone's face. What the hell kind of monster is this? How did he dodge so many attacks? Is that the instant body technique? Is it the afterimage left by the high-speed movement? Impossible. Unless it's Reikage, how can there be an instant body technique that can do this? And dodge hundreds of attacks without any damage. I'm afraid even the 4th generation of Reikage can't do it? What exactly is going on? Obviously, the scene in front of them greatly exceeded the cognition of these ninjas. But in the next second, a cold reminder sound suddenly exploded in the ears of the captain of Umbu. Make his scalp explode. It's not a moving afterimage, it's an afterimage of time. Swipe DD. A cold light flashed. As swift and violent as wind and thunder. Blood splattered, directly taking away the life of the Dark Army leader. Since obtaining intercolumn cells, the side effects of using Sharingan have been greatly weakened. Natsume has also taken a big step forward in the development and utilization of her Sharingan ability. Just talking about the left eye, it has already been able to climb to the 4th rank from the original highest rank of the 3rd rank, Shina. Kaleidoscopic Sharingan? Left eye? Setsuna. 4th order 16-fold gain. 16 times the speed gain. This made Natsume's instantaneous speed infinitely close to the sound barrier. Such a speed is almost no less than a car speeding at 1,200 km per hour. There is no need for moves, just bumping into people is enough to easily touch people into a meat paste. If it weren't for Natsume relying on the cells between the pillars to improve his physique and protect his body with a large amount of chakra. Just moving at this speed, I am afraid that the body has been crushed into a meatloaf by the strong wind resistance. At this moment, a figure suddenly appeared beside him. But his own captain died suddenly. The surrounding group of Kirigakure Anbi ninjas were even more frightened. But many people cheered up immediately, roared angrily, and rushed towards Natsume again. Kill. Do it. Next second. Reaper moved again. It disappeared in place again in an instant, and left 2 deep reaction force pits on the shipboard. Same time. The nearest 3 Kirigakure ninjas haven't seen anything clearly. It flew out straight upside down, smashed hard on the cabin, all internal organs were shattered, and died suddenly on the spot. Advance. Sprint. Blast. Unrivaled. All the enemies standing in front of Natsume were instantly dismantled, obliterated, and terminated. Kirigakure ninjas who went up to kill one after another died suddenly, like moths to a flame. The sharp chakra blade cut through the back of the man's neck. It was like cutting a piece of tender tofu, leaving a line of blood behind. Then it exploded suddenly. With unstoppable blood gushing out, it crazily devours life. And that ghostly figure, whose speed is so fast that it is difficult to catch, is almost as difficult to catch as a ghost, choosing to devour people. And everyone who was touched was killed with one blow. There is no chance of survival. This is real efficiency. This is the art of speed. In the distance, on a large cargo ship, Ryao, Yuji, In, and the others were also stunned. Brother Ryao? What's going on? Can you see it? Silver asked stammeringly. In his field of vision, he could only see explosions flashing again and again on the distant port. A ninja named Kirigakure flew upside down like a chick and died instantly. Each ship, like a house being demolished, was brutally ravaged and torn apart, as fragile as a little girl who loves to cry. On the contrary, the young patriarch who launched the attack was completely invisible. Ryao opened his mouth slightly, propped Urgyu to right sharing eyes, and tried his best to lock the figure of the young patriarch. However, at the moment when Natsume was tossing and moving, he could only see some vague figures. It's taijutsu. It's pure speed. The speed of the young patriarch has exceeded the limit that your eyes can capture. Yuji, who had been reticent while driving the Sengoku Sharingan, explained aloud. Even she could barely see Natsume's movement clearly. If you want to fight, it's too late. I'm afraid I haven't waited for myself to respond. The young patriarch's knife had already cut his own throat. Is this the true strength of the young patriarch? What a wonderful gymnastics. At the same time, several people in Rieo couldn't help being shocked. As the original enemy, Zabuzi was even more horrified. It's unbelievable that that young man has such speed and strength. How many times faster is this than his own mist instant body? No wonder this kid has been calm and idle. Such strength if he wants to. When we met for the first time. I guess I have been blocked by the other party, right? Fortunately, I have always been proud of my silent killing technique. Really, compared with such extreme speed, I am a fart. It turns out that this is his confidence to dare to fight against the entire, mist-hidden village? No more self-deprecation in my heart. And struggled to stabilize his trembling right hand. At this moment, just because I watched from afar, I felt the taste of fear again. It's really embarrassing. A moment later, after recovering from the deep shock, Tsukihime was the first to jump off the boat and join the battle. Don't look, let's do it too. If the young patriarch is really killed, what do we need? Ryo took out kunai and groaned coldly. He also jumped off the deck and rushed towards the shore. Yes, wait for me. Ian shouted and chased after him. Seeing this, if he doesn't want to kill the two of them, he hastily dispatched. Episode 45. The Devil's Deal. After a few people rushed ashore that day, the battle at the port seemed to be over. More than 10 cargo ships were scrapped, and nearly 30 Kirigakure Anbi ninjas were all decapitated and died here. All are one-hit kills. No mistakes, perfect precision. It was like 30 chicks whose feet were tied up and left to be slaughtered. This is a ninja. Or the fearsome Umbu ninja in Kirihide village. This is too quick to die, right? Just looking at this messy and bloody scene made one unconsciously tremble with fear and feel his scalp go numb. Swipe DD. Natsume wiped away the blood on the chakra knife in his hand. Then, he quickly took off the smoking shoes on his feet. Previous. Just now my speed was too fast. The huge frictional force between the sole and the boatboard generated so much heat that it almost burned the sole of the shoe. I have to take it off quickly. Sure enough, I will have to find time to buy a pair of better heat-resistant shoes in the future. Otherwise, every time you use installation, you have to burn a pair of shoes, which is not worth it. Soon, he took out a new pair of shoes from the space scroll and put them on. Only then did Natsume come in front of Rieo and the others. What are you looking at? I'm covered in blood? No, no. Silver swallowed, trembling. Compared with the young patriarch, the way I slaughtered the Wano country stronghold before, it was really embarrassing. Look at others, killing so many powerful Umbu ninjas. There was no blood on his body at all. It's too cruel. Okay, don't stand there stupidly, go and check to see if there are any survivors. By the way, see if they have any valuables on them, and take them together. This, the young patriarch, is not very good? Sunny asked hesitantly. Most of the Uchiha clan are arrogant. The practice of touching human corpses like this is really contradictory. Pedantic. For every tale you get out, the children in the village can save a day of hunger and have an extra meal. Isn't it worth it? You know, no matter how small a fly is, it's still meat. Xiaomu painstakingly warned. Only those who have really been hungry know how painful that feeling is. What's more, people kill themselves. Even if it is to fish for corpses, it is money earned by skill. What's the problem? Ri Yao froze for a moment, then suddenly realized. Indeed, compared with the children in his family, touching the corpse is not something difficult to talk about. Soon, Sun Yao and Ian quickly dispersed. While checking whether there are any fish that slipped through the net, he happily touched the corpse. The other side. After landing. Looking at this tragic battlefield with corpses lying across the field. Even for a cold-blooded tough guy like Buyu, he couldn't help but feel a bang in his heart. To put it bluntly, these 30 Kirigakure Anbi ninjas together are definitely enough to kill him alive. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been hiding all the way. But now, within half a minute before and after, they were all buried here. It's appalling. But the one who slaughtered them was only a 10-year-old boy. Uchiha clan, what kind of monster is this? What? Any dissatisfaction? Natsume leaned over and asked with a smile while rubbing his sore arms. The look of Zabuza was a bit lonely. He shook his head and said, "Before, when I was hunted down by these Umbu ninjas, I had imagined countless times to kill them all. But now, when we actually see them die. But I can't help feeling a little regretful." "Natsume, what are you sorry for?" "They came to kill you." "Zabuchi, they are all good ninjas in the village, they just obeyed Mizuki Yakura's orders. I didn't want them to die. Every one of them dies is a great loss to the village." "Natsume, but they don't die, how do you coup d'etat? How do you overthrow the fourth Mizuki? How do you restore Kirigakure village to its original state?" "Zabuza, I know. So I won't soften my heart. After everything is over, I will come to collect their bodies and bury them properly." Natsume glanced at it again, feeling slightly emotional. Let's be honest, stand aside. He still respects such a tough guy. Dare to act and value love and righteousness. Although a little cold-blooded, a little stupid. But it is much more reassuring than those old guys and old men in Konoha. According to this style of play, even if this coup succeeds, Kirigakure should not have a few capable ninjas left, right? "I see. Let's make another deal," Natsume suggested with a smile. Zabuza instantly became vigilant, always feeling that this brat was going to lie to himself again. Along the way, he has been very clear. This brat must not be underestimated as a child. "What are you going to do?" "Don't be nervous. My proposal is that after I invade Mist Hidden Village, I will try my best not to kill anyone. Strive to knock your Kirigakure's ninjas unconscious, not to hurt their lives. In this way, we can also retain some talents for your village, how about it?" No more eyes lit up. But continued to be vigilant. "What else do you want?" "I have no money." "I don't want your money, I want your village's money. How about this? A lower ninja, 200,000 taels, a middle ninja, 500,000 taels, a special top ninja, 2 million taels, a top ninja, 5 million taels. How many ninjas I have saved, after you overthrow the fourth Mizuki, how much will you pay me in the name of Kirigakure? How, is this deal fair?" Natsume suggested again with a smile. "Anyway, killing a lot is just a matter of waving your hands. Wouldn't it be wonderful to be able to earn a lot of money from Wuin Village, with just a little effort?" I was stunned for a while, and my heart was beating. In his opinion, although money is very important. But if a coup comes down, all the ninjas in the village are dead. No matter how much money you have, you can't keep it. The other 4 hidden villages will definitely take the opportunity to carve up their own villages. It is undoubtedly very cost-effective to use this money to save the lives of the next batch of Kirigakure ninjas and save some vitality for the village. Here, I'm just a trader, I have no right to control the village's finances." Natsume hurriedly urged, "Hey! Don't underestimate yourself. After killing the fourth Mizuki and his supporters, aren't you a big shot in the village? It's not impossible to even sit on the 5th generation Mizuki position. At that time, your words will have no weight. Moreover, after paying this commission, your village can form an alliance with us and get military support. Make sure that the other 4 hidden villages can't be left behind. Left and right are just a loss of money, and you can earn it back in the future. If the money is not enough at that time, we also support installment payment. It's such a good thing without any harm. If you miss it, you won't have it." Natsume's persuasion, like a devil's whisper, gradually eroded and refused to cut. Zabuza shook his head violently. "Previous. I, White Snake, transforming into a dragon, do not disturb." He really couldn't figure out, how could this kid who got into Qian's eyes be so powerful? And so good at deceiving others? But in the end, he agreed. After all, he really didn't want to watch helplessly as the entire Wuin village was completely destroyed with blood flowing into rivers. "Okay. I promise you." Very wise decision. After the trick succeeded, Xiaomu felt happy. And immediately called out. "Speed up. Get ready to go with the target, Mist Hidden Village." Episode 46. "Hello? Anyone there? I'm here to kick the restaurant." Country of Water? Hidden Fog Village. This closed ninja village is located in the deep mountains and is covered by thick fog all year round. At this moment, in the Water Shadow Building, Mizukage Kutachi Yakura, the fourth generation with empty eyes, was sitting on a leather table and chair, listening to the report of two Anbi ninjas. Back to the fourth generation, the 7th, 10th, 12th, and 13th teams of the Umbu. They are setting up an ambush at the port. Prepare to ambush the rebellious ninja. This time, I will be able to kill this traitor. Got it. You're doing a great job. Yagura nodded lightly and responded blankly. It seems that I don't care much about Zabuza. Go down. Understood. This subordinate resigns. The leader of the Dark Army hurriedly resigned, not wanting to stay any longer. After the Dark Army leader retreated. Only then did Yakura turn his empty gaze to another Anbi ninja who was half kneeling in front of him. Dried persimmon ghost shark. I am here, Master Mizukage of the fourth generation. Kisame bowed his head, respectfully agreed. Can't see his face at the moment. I have an important task for you. Please tell me. Find an opportunity and kill your boss. My boss? Master Watermelon Mountain? Excuse me, why? This guy colluded with the enemy and passed on important information about the village to the enemy country. For the sake of the village, I need you to get rid of him. Guashia was startled suddenly, but he still asked calmly. Why me? The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost is extremely vigilant and powerful, and arresting it by force will only increase casualties. But he has great trust in your subordinate. As long as you set a trap and lock his chakra, you can easily succeed. After completing this task, you will replace him and become my direct subordinate, and continue to contribute to the village. Yagura narrated coldly. It was as if he had memorized the lines long ago. Kisame was silent for a moment, then responded faintly. It seems that I have no reason to refuse at all. Even though I know it, there are some unreasonable things about this task. But since it was the task assigned to him personally by Master Mizukage IV, Kisame had no other choice but to accept it. Because, no one knows better than himself the strength of his boss Zigwishin Puffer Ghost. Mizukage-sama already has murderous intentions towards him, so if he doesn't do it himself, Mizukage-sama will also send more people to do it. In that case, with the strength of Watermelon Mountain, it will cause even greater casualties. Let more Kikikure ninjas die tragically. So, accept yourself. No one can end this farce at the least cost. Anyway, he was already a guy covered in the blood of his companions. I don't mind if I bear one more sin. TSK, what a hypocritical world. Ghost Shark let out a sigh in his heart. Then, after a farewell, I was ready to leave, and began to plan how to carry out this task. However, just as Ghost Shark stepped out of the room half a step. Outside the window, far away. Wuyin Village, in the direction of the main entrance. A loud provocation mixed with thick chakra suddenly sounded. The whole village was awakened. Hello? Moses? Is anyone there? I'm here to kick the village. That fourth generation Mizukage named Yakura, come out and die. Such an arrogant provocation shocked Kisame even more. Hastily took the initiative to say. Did someone hit the gate of the village? Master Mizukage, I'll go take a look first. After finishing speaking, Kisame jumped out of the window and headed towards the entrance of the village at high speed. And Kisame just jumped out not long ago. In the room, Mizukage Yakura IV was still sitting on the chair with a blank expression. However, in the shadow behind the chair, a figure wearing a threaded mask gradually stood out. And muttered to himself. This voice? It's Uchiha Natsume. That bastard kid, why is he here? Damn it. You dare to provoke the entire Wuyin village. But it's good. Let's take this opportunity to try, and see if we can use the power of Kirigakure to get rid of this big change in one fell swoop. With a sneer, Brother Tuzi disappeared into the darkness again. And under his control, Mizukage Yakura, the fourth generation who was sitting on the chair, also got up abruptly. Started rushing towards the entrance of the village. At this moment, Mist Hidden Village is at the entrance of the village. Natsume and his party of 6 were soon surrounded by a large number of Kirigakure ninjas who rushed over. It can be clearly seen that the number of male ninjas is relatively small. At a glance, dozens of pairs of white female ninja thighs come into view, which is exciting. It can be seen that Wuyin village is very yin and yang. It's time to replenish the yang energy. However, the strength of these ninjas is not too high. Moreover, there is Memoji Zabuzen, the famous Kirigakure ninja, standing in front of him. Therefore, a group of Kirigakure ninjas did not attack rashly. Young patriarch, are we being too high profile? Silver wiped the sweat from his palms and asked nervously. Growing up so big, he had to stand at 5 feet for the first time. One of the great hidden villages, Wuyin village, doorstep, such an arrogant provocation. It would be a lie to say that you are not nervous. I only hope that the young patriarch will really show his might and kill the entire, mist hidden village in a while. Soon, an Umbu captain arrived. Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost. He has a fat body, orange-red curly hair, 3 pairs of green stripes tattooed on his face, and a big knife. Shark muscles, he looks silly. But this guy is one of the first batch of 7 ninja swordsmen in Wuyin village, and the first user of the big sword. Shark muscle. It can also be regarded as a senior and powerful person in the current, mist hidden village. He has been carrying out underground missions for many years. The city is deep and has a strong sense of security. Even a certain local brother treats him differently. After all, this guy was lucky enough to survive from the hand of Maidadai, who opened the 8-door armor. Its strength has already steadily entered the movie level threshold. At this moment, after he arrives, I recognized it at first glance. And immediately shouted. No more beheading. You traitor, how dare you come back? Where are those Umbu ninjas sent to kill you? Zabuzen said indifferently, they are all dead. Wow.d.d. All the ninjas around were in an uproar. After all, there are quite a few Umbu ninjas sent to chase and kill them, almost catching up with 1/5 of the Umbu's power in the entire village. They were all killed again? Where did he get this strength? Then he is blocking the gate of the village at this moment, isn't he? Asshole. You are courting death. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost roared angrily, gnashing its teeth, looking as if it wished to be torn apart. However, he did not pull out the big saber shark muscle. Instead, he secretly gave Zabujan a look that only the other party could understand. And Zabujan quickly returned another meaningful look. Both sides come and go. Those who don't know, think that the two of them are discharging each other. Just like that, the atmosphere became more and more tense, as if a war was about to break out. Several high-level figures of Wuyin village came one after another. That's it, Master Yuan? Master Yuan is here too? There was a commotion in the crowd. At the same time, in the distance, an old figure leaning on a snake-shaped wooden staff was walking slowly with the support of the two of them. The other party was the elder of Mist Hidden Village, Master Yuan. With the same power and status as Mizukage, he is in charge of most of the people's livelihood matters in the village, and will consult this elder for most of the important matters in the village. And the two people who were supporting the elder Master Yuan. One person is his confidant, Quan Bingwei. Another young and beautiful figure is the village's rookie ninja, Terumi Mei. Seeing in the distance, Taramimii Mizukage, the 5th generation of the future, with a head of curly reddish-brown crossed hair, emerald-green gemstone eyes, and a mature figure, walked slowly. Natsume couldn't help but shine. Who doesn't like a beautiful female ninja? After all, appreciating beauty is itself an art. Of course, Natsume is also very clear that he is here to do business. How could such a mere beauty affect her? Impossible. Episode 47. This knife, 10 million. No more cuts. What do you want to do? Master Yuan stomped the crutch in his hand fiercely, and asked loudly without getting angry. Similarly, Terumi Mei standing next to Yuancher. Also with an expression of extreme doubt, he looked at Zai Bujan. At the beginning, Zabuza opposed the blood fog policy implemented by Mizukage IV, and even questioned Yukura IV himself, thus launching a coup and fled after failing. She knows it. Even many like-minded ninjas in the village know about it. Even, he will secretly help Zabuzen, keep in touch with him, and provide Umbu's trends and so on. Among them, the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost is one of them. Terumi Mei is also. Otherwise, it would be impossible to escape Kirigakure Umbu's frantic pursuit for so many years just by not beheading one more person. That's why Terumi Mei didn't understand. Why didn't he kill him and ran back to the village to seek death at this time? He really thought that he alone, plus a few foreign ninjas behind him, could rival the entire mist-hidden village? Taking another step forward, looking at Master Yuan firmly, he said in a deep voice. Master Yuan. I came back to challenge the 4th Mizukage Yukura. Although I once launched a coup, failed, and defected. But I'm still Kirigakure's ninja. I believe everyone here is aware that during the years when the 4th generation was in power, what has become of our Wuyin village? Has it become rich? Has it become powerful? No, none. On the contrary, these years, the cruel government has been in power, the number of ninjas has dropped sharply, and everyone is in danger. If this continues, Wuyin village will perish sooner or later. And I, today, came to overthrow the 4th generation and rebuild Wuyin village. With a wave of his sword, he declared decisively. He is not a man of words. It's just these words that he has held back in his heart for many years. Today, it's really time to spit it out. Even if what greets him will be death. Hear this. The hundreds of Kirigakure ninjas around them couldn't help feeling sad. As Wuyin people, how could they not feel the changes in the village over the years? It's just that they are all forced by the high-pressure policy of the 3rd and 4th generations, so they dare not speak out. Now, it is no longer pointed out in the open. Looking back on the good old days, the hidden ninjas felt very sour in their hearts and remained silent. At the same time, seeing Zabuzhong cut down most of the enemy's morale with just one mouthful, Natsume also couldn't help admiring. Still, Zue done, awesome. TSK TSK TSK. If you don't kill me, I don't see that you still have a talent for speech. However, it's useless to rely on lip service alone. Can you start the fight soon? I haven't finished my meal yet, it's time to eat after I finish playing. Natsume urged, a little impatient to wait. Been on a boat for a day. He was already hungry. I just want to finish the game as soon as possible and cook as soon as possible. No longer cut Wei Wei Yanhan. I just feel that this brat is really full of confidence. However, he was also right. No matter how much I say, I still have to rely on force to solve it. If you can't beat the 4th generation of Yukura, everything is empty talk. Cough cough. If you don't cut it again, I understand your feelings. It's a pity that you chose the path of the coup d'état, which is wrong. Besides, you are a traitor, the village can no longer let you go down, just obediently arrest you. Master Yuan suddenly coughed twice, and kindly advised. But he was not finished yet. Calling D.D. There was a sound of breaking through the air. Another figure suddenly jumped into the crowd and faced to never behead a group of people. There is no doubt that it is the 4th generation of Mizukage Kutachi Yukura who has just arrived. After Yagura arrived, the indifferent and powerful aura made the surrounding missions of Kirigakure even more breathless. At the same time, he just glanced at the Zaibuzu people in the distance outside the gate. Then, there is no nonsense. Directly ordered in a cold voice. Kill. The 4th Mizukage order came out. Around, dozens of Umbu ninjas lurking in the depths rushed out directly. Without hesitation, he went to kill a few more people. The battle erupted instantly. Seeing the start of the fierce battle at the entrance of the village, Terumi Mei and the others hurriedly protected the elder Yuancher and retreated. Quan Bei, hurry up and evacuate the surrounding villagers. And notify the enchantment class to come over and set up the enchantment defense. This battle doesn't look like it will end easily. The elder Master Yuan hurriedly instructed. Obey. Quan Bingwei took the order and hurried to evacuate the villagers. It was Terumi Mei who was on the side. But he couldn't help but whispered. Elder, this may be an opportunity. Do you want us to join too? Not urgent. Hold on. The situation is still unclear. Unless the foreign aid brought by Bujan, I really have the strength to defeat Yukura. Otherwise, once we make a move, we will only fall short. Genscher lowered his hoarse voice and whispered to Terumi Mei beside him. In fact, as an old antique in his 80s, Master Yuan watched the birth and development of the entire Wuyin village, step by step. He knows all the water shadows of the past dynasties like the palm of his hand. Therefore, how could he not feel it? The 3rd Mizukage and the 4th Mizukage Yukura, their temperament changed drastically overnight, and they pursued the cruel policy of Blood Mist Village? Therefore, he has long suspected that there is something wrong with the fourth generation of Yukura. But due to Yagura's powerful strength and identity as Mizukage, he is the one who shoulders the entire fate of Wuin. I have always been apprehensive and dare not make a move. This has been dormant until now, ready to wait for a good opportunity to overthrow Yagura's rule in one fell swoop. As for now, is it a good opportunity? It still depends on whether they will be able to give up if they don't kill them. Since that guy dared to challenge the entire village, he must have something to rely on, right? Okay. Then wait. Terumi May bit her red lip and nodded heavily, and quickly looked to the other side of the battlefield. Now. The dusk is like ink and the fog is like water. The attack launched by dozens of Kirigakure Anbi ninjas was like a torrential rain. There is nowhere to hide. The variety of ninjutsu is even more dazzling, and there is no time to deal with it. No matter how hard they saw it, Riyao and the others felt a little trembling in their hearts. Obviously, before having absolute power. With a sufficient number of attacks, it is still enough to overwhelm the enemy. It is not without reason that ants kill elephants more. Unfortunately, this time, among them there is a person with absolute strength. Susanoo, open. Natsume turned on Susan without hesitation. In an instant, the scarlet skeleton Susanoo rose up from the ground again. And it directly melted out of Chakra's flesh and coat, wrapped the skeleton frame, and entered the second form. And covered Natsume, Riyao, Zabuzen, and others in it. Boom, boom. Countless ninjutsu, kunai, shuriken. The bombardment hit Susanoo like a torrential rain. Unfortunately, none of these attacks could shake Susan in the slightest. It was more like tofu colliding fiercely on a rock, and it fell apart in an instant. Susanoo, the strongest defense technique in the ninja world, is not blown out. What's more, with the blessing of sufficient chakra and intercolumn cells. At this moment, Natsume has almost no burden to drive Susanoo, and it is far more handy than before. Is it all over? It's my turn. Summer laughed lightly. Controlling Susan, with a big wave of his hand, he drew out a chakra broadsword again. Of course, there is no Kuindao, turned into a spiritual weapon, so as not to be too powerful and directly hack the enemy to death. Next moment, Suzwa held the knife and swung it out suddenly. The wind was like a wave. It's just that it was slapped away with the side of the knife. Snapped, pop DD. 3 Kirigakure ninjas were directly hit by the sword. In an instant, like a glass ball being ejected, it flew backwards for tens of meters, collided with several houses, and passed out on the spot. Fortunately, Natsume controlled his strength. Otherwise, the 3 of them would have to be photographed as meat. And this ferocious scene stunned all the Kirigakure Anbi ninjas, making them stop. Come on more. Don't stop attacking. This knife, 500,000. This knife, 2 million. This time, 5 million. This blow, 10 million. Ha ha ha. Make money, make money. In the mist, under the drizzle, I saw the boy who was driving a Susan Gundam like a demon god, waving the blade wantonly, flapping, venting, laughing, and crazy. It seemed that it wasn't an enemy that he fainted. It's a bucket of gold and silver harvested. Seeing countless Kirigakure ninjas, their scalps were all numb and their thighs were trembling. Episode 48. Susanoo's prestige, cutting Yakura with a sword. This is Kaleidoscopic Sharingan. Susanoo? In the distance, he looked at the phantom of the scarlet demon god showing his might in the rain. Elder Wuin, Master Yuan, couldn't help but exclaimed. Nearly 60 years have passed. The scene in front of him also made him unable to recall it. At the end of the Warring States period, the patriarch of the Uchiha family, Madara. The same terrifying strength, the same incomparable. After so many years, this Uchiha clan has such a pervert again? And so young, too young. Is this the foreign aid that Zaibucho found? Some fight. There is a chance. Master Yuan's eyes lit up, as if he saw hope. He still knows the power of Kaleidoscope Sharingan and Susanoo. Definitely enough to rival the power of the tailed beast. And it seems that the Uchiha boy did not kill him. I don't know if there is any deal reached with Zabuzen. However, as long as the 4th generation can be overthrown, it's worth paying some price. Moreover, such a small child should not be too greedy. Elder. This. Suppressing the shock in her heart, Terumi asked in a low voice. Master Yuan, get ready. Listen to my instructions and do it later. Terumi's eyes lit up, and she quickly agreed, okay. And immediately arranged to go. Same time. Except for most of the Umbu ninjas who directly participated in the battle at the order of Mizukage Ukura. There is also a small group of Umbu ninjas, but they did not join rashly. Its head is the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost. Team leader. Is it Ghost Shark? You are finally here. Zigwashin turned his head and was slightly happy when he saw Gixier approaching quietly behind him. Captain, aren't we going to fight? Wait first. And you said yes, do you think you can withstand that guy's knife? The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost pointed to the tall Susan and asked with lingering fear. With that kind of power, I'm afraid I can't resist a knife, right? What's more, Ghost Shark. Ghost Shark whispered silently, as an honest man, he would not utter crazy words. If I can't bear it, I can't bear it. Ghostfish, I have a question for you. Is your allegiance to Master Mizukage IV? Or the village? Zigwashin Puffer Ghost asked again in a deep voice. Kisame was taken aback for a moment, as if he had vaguely guessed something. Of course it's the village. Okay, listen to my orders later. Obey. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost stretched out his big hand, patted the back of the ghost beside him, and said in a deep voice. The battle was fierce. In just a few moments, the gate of Wuyin village and more than a dozen surrounding houses were destroyed by the aftermath of the battle. It is enough to see that Suzwa has great destructive power during the battle. However, the fierce battle ended quickly. Under the temptation of one knife 10 million. Natsume controlled Susan, attacking fiercely, and the fight was so hardy and dripping. In less than half a minute, dozens of Umbu ninjas were swept away. Of course, he deliberately controlled his strength. Except for one or two ninjas who accidentally bumped into Susanoo blade and died suddenly. Most of the other Umbu ninjas were just stunned by the blade. No life was hurt. After all, for every ninja who survived, Kirigakure will have to pay him a lot of money in the future. How could Natsume have trouble with money? Seeing many Umbu ninjas in their own family, they were quickly defeated. The fourth Mizukage Ukura, whose mind was controlled, still looked indifferent. It seems that they don't care about the life and death of those Umbu ninjas at all. Or, if he wanted to use this ninja, he would consume Natsume first. And Natsume here. After disposing of those miscellaneous fish, there is no nonsense. Swinging the knife again, he took the fourth Mizukage Ukura in the distance. Master Mizukage. Master fourth generation. Among the surrounding crowd, someone shouted a reminder. Obviously, even the most brutal ruler. As long as there are benefits to fight for, there will still be no lack of dogs who will work hard for them. Next moment. Just when the blade was about to fall, a large wave of chakra suddenly gushed out from Yukura's body. There is no doubt that it is the chakra of Sanwei, Isafu. In a moment, the dark red chakra of the three tails wrapped Yukura's whole body, turning him into a half-tailed beast, and revealing three dark red tails. It has greatly improved Yagura's comprehensive strength. Jang.D.D. Yukura, who turned into a half-tailed beast, raised his head to the sky and stretched out a pair of sharp claws, directly resisting Susanoo's slash. There was a booming sound of golden spears, shocking all directions. The huge shock force brought up a hurricane and spread it. Yukura, who had turned into a half-tailed beast, was also forced to slide back more than 10 meters, leaving long ravines on the ground. However, relying on the strong defensive power of the tailed beast coat, it resisted the knife abruptly, and only suffered a small concussion injury. It is enough to see that the power of the tail beast is strong. Interesting, actually took this knife. It seems that this knife is not sharp enough. Then change it. Xiaomu frowned and chuckled. If there is something that cannot be split, it only shows that your strength is not enough. Or, your knife is not good enough. Natsume's own strength must be enough. Moreover, he also happens to have a magic knife that can be turned into a spiritual weapon. Next moment. The chakra broadsword dissipated. Immediately afterwards, a crimson light bloomed in Susan's hand. The divine weapon, Kuin Dao, instantly transformed into a spiritual weapon of more than 20 meters long. Come again. Try my knife. The bright knife light fell in response, like a meteor falling into the world. The speed is too fast, there is no chance for Yagura to react. Ow! Under the blade, the half-tailed Yagura screamed, waving his claws again, ready to resist. But this time, the sharp knife light was far from what the previous blow could match. Clang.d.d. The extremely hard and amazingly defensive tailed beast coat could even withstand the piercing of the Chao's sword. Under the sharp edge of Kuin Dao, he had to be defeated. Didn't even last half a second. The sharp claw was chopped off by the blade. Together with one of its tails and its entire left arm, they were all chopped off. For a moment, blood splattered everywhere. The audience was stunned. Episode 49. Kill through Kirigakure and beat Sanwei violently. Although in the later stage, when the wall is flying all over the sky, the tailed beast does not seem to be strong. Yes, in normal times. Every tailed beast, with its full strength, has at least the peak shadow level strength. Otherwise, the distribution of tailed beasts would not have been used to restrict the balance of the villages. And 9 tails. Even half of it is estimated to have the power of a super shadow level threshold. Otherwise, just Naruto who turned into a half-tailed beast would not be able to beat Lu Dao Pain so much that his style of painting changed. Therefore, Renzali and Perfect Renzali are basically two concepts. It's almost even bigger than the gap between ordinary movie level and peak movie level. So, at this moment, the 4th Mizukage Yagura who turned into a half-tailed beast alone has the power of almost the upper middle class of the Kage class. The indestructible dark red-tailed beast coat is almost immune to most ninjutsu. It can't be broken at all. This is also true, even if the ninja of Kirigakure village is very dissatisfied with Yagura's tyranny. But still no one can resist his reasons. Just, at this moment, none of them thought that someone could break through the defense of the tailed beast's coat and directly cut off Yagura's left arm and tail. Looking at Yukura in the distance, Natsume let out a sneer. Did you barely deflect the blade with your claws? If not, just now this knife can directly split the opponent in half, instead of just chopping off an arm and a tail. However, Jinzuriki is already full of vitality, and it is protected by the tailed beast chakra. Although this injury is serious, it should not kill the other party. As predicted. Don't wait for the dust to disperse. Natsume felt it clearly. In the dust, a larger chakra is rapidly gathering. The next moment, the rapidly concentrated high-density chakra sucked away the surrounding dust. The half-tailed beast like Yukura was exposed, and sure enough, he was gathering a black energy ball in his mouth. Not good. It's tail beast Jade. Many remaining Kirigakure ninjas exclaimed. This tail beast Jade is not a joke. It is the tail beast that condenses the tail beast chakra into a ball according to a certain ratio, which has high density and energy. Once fired, it can cause considerable damage, and the attack range is also very wide. Once ordinary ninjas are involved, they will basically die. TSK. It's crazy to release tail beast Jade at the gate of your own village. Natsume scoffed. Then he looked at the Ryeo people who were protected by him in Susanoo. Just relying on my own words, I can definitely avoid the tailed beast Jade easily. However, there is no way to protect Ryeo and the others. There is also a Koma around, the head of the Kirigakure ninja worth tens of millions of taels. There is no other way but to fight head-on. Spiritualism? Triple Rashomon. Natsume quickly sealed and released. Just before Yagura released the tailed beast orb, a huge triple Rashomon rose from the ground. Boom, boom, boom DD. The triple huge Rashomon fell to the ground and blocked Natsume. At the same time, the tailed beast Jade exploded instantly. The dazzling light flooded everything in a straight line. It also includes the Rashomon with astonishing triple defense. At the same time, countless Kirigakure ninjas fled one after another. After all, such a powerful tail beast Jade bombardment. If the escape is slow, it will be slightly involved. Absolutely no bones left. Seeing Yagura disregarding the safety of the village, he even used the tail beast Jade. Terumi Mei and other Kirigakure ninjas were even more disappointed and complained. Elder. Terumi said. However, with such a powerful, tail beast jade, bombardment, she really didn't know who could withstand it. Don't worry. The defense of Rashomon and Susanoo is not so easy to break. That Uchiha little ghost shouldn't be dead. Master Yuan replied calmly. But he didn't know what the outcome would be. Soon, the glare dissipated. The scene after being bombarded by the tailed beast jade is revealed. A huge ravine with a length of 100 meters and a width of tens of meters appeared in front of everyone. And that Susanoo demon god still stood in place. Huh? I'm not dead? My eyes are so sore, so sour. Ian lay on the ground, rubbing his eyes in pain while being pleasantly surprised. A look of rejoicing for the rest of his life after the catastrophe. Just now seeing the tail beast jade coming and devouring everything, he almost thought he was about to burp. In the end, he survived. Soon, he used his pupil power to soothe his stinging eyes. And quickly looked up. Only then did I see it. The triple Rashomon summoned by the young patriarch in front has been shattered. Previous. And Susanoo, the young patriarch who protected himself and others. Also by the remaining power of the tailed beast jade, the coat and flesh were torn apart. Only a skeleton remains, protecting them. It can break through the triple Rashomon at the same time, and also cut off most of Susan's defense. It is enough to see that this strike of tail beast jade is terrifyingly powerful. If he is really completely exposed to this bombardment, there will be no bones left. Are you still alive? Natsume asked Sun Yao and the others. Alive. Ueji got up first, and picked up Sun Yao and Ian who had fallen to the ground. On the other side, even if he didn't cut him, he tightly protected by behind him. If you are not dead, retreat first. The battle here is not for you to participate in. Go around and move those unconscious Kirigakure ninjas away. Those are valuable silver. Yuji rolled her eyes speechlessly. My young patriarch is really ruthless. It's all done like this, and I still think about money. But she did as she was told. Immediately took Ryeo and others, rushed out of the envelope of Susanoo, and retreated to a distance. After seeing Ueji and the others back away, Natsume also once again set his sights on the fourth Mizukage Yakura in the distance. The other party's tail beast jade made him quite embarrassed. Don't waste any more time, let's make a quick decision as soon as possible. Natsume stepped forward. The pupil power of the eyes and the chakra in the body surged out, filling the skeleton of Susan with muscles and coat again, and returning to the second form. At the same time, under the chakra increase, the spiritual weapon Kundo in his hand also skyrocketed again. It has reached more than 30 meters long, which is comparable to a 10-story building. Then, with a strong killing intent, he rushed directly to Yakura in the distance. For a while, the enemy that even tail beast jade failed to overcome made Yakura feel the threat of death. This time, he didn't dare to keep his last strength. Hastily roared. It directly untied the power restraint on the three-tailed Isafu and began to completely transform into a tailed beast. For a moment, a huge tortoise tens of meters long, covered with thorns all over its body, and with 3 tails, descended with a crash. Just because it set off the hurricane chakra, many ninjas in the distance were crushed, and they were extremely strenuous, almost kneeling. And the 3-tailed Isafu, that is completely beast-tailed. As soon as he came out, he opened his mouth suddenly again. And ready to release tail beast jade to attack. It's just a little turtle, why are you pretending to be fierce? Die to me. Natsume roared, how could he give Sanwei another chance to release the tailed beast jade? Directly swing the knife horizontally. There was a flash of light. In an instant, half of Sanwei's chin was cut off, interrupting its tail beast jade cohesion. Then, the tall Susan suddenly swung his fist. He smashed it hard, and directly hit Jifu's tortoise shell with a heavy hammer. Boom dee. The gigantic tortoise wailed and was directly laid on the ground, shaking the surrounding ground violently. It's not over yet. Natsume strikes again. Turning the giant knife in his hand, he slashed at Jifu's 3 tails. Swipe DD. The blade pierced through the air, and 3 huge tails shot up into the sky, and they were cut off in response. So much so that a dignified tailed beast can be kneaded as freely as a little chicken. Such a crazy scene made countless Kirigakure ninjas stunned and at a loss. Episode 50. Contract Seal, the battle ends. His tail was chopped off, his mouth was injured, and he was severely suppressed by Susanoo. At this moment, the Sanwei Isafu, who was originally mighty, seemed to have been hollowed out at this moment, with none of his strength left. It was lying on the ground, as if it was being slaughtered. At the same time, Mio Isafu even desperately swung his 4 big feet, trying to shrink his body and return to the seal of Jinchuriki. Whoa. It's too dangerous outside. I won't play anymore, I won't come out. Let me go back. Yukura, that stinky brat, is trying to trick me to death. I can't defeat such a fierce enemy. Gifu roared, cursed, and felt helpless in his heart. I just feel that if I don't shrink back, I'm afraid I will die here. Although after his death, it won't take long for him to be reunited and resurrected. But it's also very uncomfortable. If it is not necessary, it is best not to die. It's a pity that he just struggled halfway. But he found that the Susanoo figure in front of him gradually dissipated and slowly revealed the body of the Uchiha kid. Huh? Is this going to stop? This brat, is he really scared by my bastard spirit? Gifu felt happy in his heart, and then he was overjoyed. But before it was completely shivering, it suddenly met the hands of the Uchiha kid. Fuck, it's the Kaleidoscope Sharingan, I got tricked. Gifu was startled suddenly. However, it's not over yet. The consciousness of the entire tailed beast is enveloped and dominated by the pupil power of the endless Sharingan illusion. I have to admit that although the tail beast is powerful, but it is relatively weak in mental resistance. As long as you have enough pupil power, even the mighty 9 tails can be controlled by the Kaleidoscope Sharingan. Although, Natsume's Sharingan is not in the same line of illusion, and it can't be compared with Itachi's Tsukiyomi. But he wanted to control a seriously injured, average-strength Sanwei Isafu. Still no problem. As for, why not use the kaleidoscope to release the mind control of the 4th-generation Yukura in the first place? That's because Natsume had already tried it. In a short time, I couldn't untie it at all. After all, Sharingan is different from Baiyen, and cannot directly cut off the control of pupil power. We have to use stronger pupil power to cover and erase the spiritual dominance of the controlled. You know, this Yagura has been controlled by Obito for several years. Every time the spell is performed, the control will be deepened a little. According to the buff stacking calculation, I am afraid that it has already stacked to 99 floors. And even if Natsume can break through these pupil power shackles, it will take a long time, and the gain outweighs the loss. It's better to attack directly and knock out the 3 tails in Yukura's body. After all, Yagura's illusion is difficult to understand. But it's not difficult to control Sanwei Isafu. Soon, Mio Isafu, who was controlled by Natsume's Kaleidoscope Sharingan, stopped struggling. At first, he lay quietly at the gate of Wuin village, motionless. However, Natsume could clearly feel it. In Sanwei's body, there is still a stubborn force, which is contending with his pupil power. Obviously, Yukura as Jinchuriki. Still resisting constantly, trying to stimulate Sanwei and break free from Natsume's control. If you really give him enough time, with his perfect human power to dominate the tailed beast, maybe the 3 tails can really break free. However, Natsume certainly wouldn't give him this chance. Okay, let's try this ninjutsu. Sealing technique? Contract seal. Natsume made a madraw with both hands, pressed it on Isafu's body, and cast it instantly. Contract seal, one of the unique seals created by the Whirlpool clan. Once cast, it can effectively cut off the contract relationship between the enemy and the psychic beast. Back then, the 4th Hokage used this technique to free Kyuubi from Obito's control. Although, the relationship between Jinchuriki and tailed beasts is slightly different from the relationship between ninjas and psychic beasts. But after all, it is still relying on seals and contracts to control the tailed beasts. Whether it works or not, you will know if you try it. In the distance, in a dark place, Obito, who witnessed the whole process of the battle, couldn't help exclaiming secretly. Contract seal. This kid actually knows the sealing technique of the Whirlpool clan. Not good. He wants to separate Sanwei from Yukura's body. Damn it, you have to stop him. At the beginning, I was hit by this trick, and was cut off by Minato-sensei from controlling Kyuubi. How can Obito forget? Originally, from the very beginning, he just wanted to borrow the power of the entire Kirizaku village and the three tails to consume a wave of Natsume, that brat. Then wait for the opportunity to make a shot and give a fatal blow. But he never thought of it. Not seen in just a few days. The strength of that brat Natsume has skyrocketed again. Now even dozens of ninjas and tailed beasts can be easily defeated. The growth rate of this kid is really appalling. And at this moment, he even wanted to strip Mio and Jinchuriki. You know, every tailed beast is an important pillar of the Eye of the Moon project. How can Obito sit idly by? But, just when he was about to make a move. But I saw that little ghost hundreds of meters away. Unexpectedly, while restraining Sanwei, he turned his gaze to his side. In that look, there was a fierce killing intent and a naked threat. A warning of if you dare to come out, you have to be prepared to die. Call. Obito took a sharp breath and retracted the steps he was about to take. That kid. Have you noticed me? Damn it. Was it an accident? Or did he already know that I am controlling the fourth Yukura? Impossible, how did that brat know? Obito shook his head abruptly, full of doubts in his heart. Even, there was an inexplicable sense of absurdity of as if the color of my underpants was exposed to the other party's eyes. This feeling is too scary. And, since that kid already knows about his existence, then my sneak attack will be hard to come by. Damn it, is it possible that we can only give up, Wuin Village? Have you given up, Sanwei? Obito gritted his teeth and said angrily, very upset. At this moment, seeing Sanwei Isafu was knocked to the ground by the explosive hammer, he lost the strength to resist. Kirigakure's group of ninjas. Everyone, including Yuanshi, Terumi Mei, Ziguishin, Kisame, etc., was shocked. Then, what followed was a deep ecstasy. The opportunity is here. The opportunity is here. Quick, hurry up. Master Yuan leaned on a cane and gave orders repeatedly. Yagura was defeated, and Mio suffered a serious setback. There has never been a better opportunity. This is also the only best chance to overthrow the rule of the fourth Mayakura and save the entire Kirihide village. For this reason, Yuanshi, Ziguishin and others have been preparing for many years. He shot in an instant and immediately took the opportunity to wipe out the remaining tyrannical elements in the village who supported the fourth generation Yakura. Only. At this time, there was a huge change in the center of the battlefield. Once again, the group of Kirigakure ninjas were stunned and stopped. In their horrified eyes, I saw that with the appearance of the contract seal spell, the connection between the huge Mizuwa Isafu and Jinchuriki 4th Mizukage Yakura was quickly severed. Contract seal is in effect. A large amount of tailed beast chakra began to be stripped from Yakura. It won't take a while. The whole three-tailed sandpiper was completely pulled out. It turned into a delicate little turtle with a broken tail, and lay obediently on the ground, not daring to move at all. The other side. The tailed beast was whipped, and Mizukage Yakura, the fourth generation of Jinchuriki, also fell into the water, dying. So far, the strongest combat force in the entire Kirigakure was defeated in the end. And this subversive battle that will surely shock the ninja world has temporarily come to an end.